This game wasn't just a battle, it was a statement. Anthony Edwards walked into the fourth quarter on a mission, already carving up the Spurs and hunting a career high, while Victor Wembanyama was doing everything in his power to drag San Antonio to a win. 55-point high on one side and 39 points for the other, in 12 minutes where every possession felt heavier than the last. This wasn't just your normal basketball game, this was pure cinema. The kind of game where momentum flips, stars answer stars, and one mistake can swing everything. Being up 12 96-84, the Spurs go right to De'Aaron Fox, running him off a pin down to force the switch and let him attack downhill, which allows Fox to blow by the big with ease to get all the way to the rim, but Jones recovers from behind to meet him at the glass, sending the shot back, which instantly ignites the fast break, leading to Edwards catching in stride to go finish over Wemby at the other end. With the slight swing in energy, San Antonio settles by giving Wemby the ball to operate, and as you all know, I call this Wemby's work desk, as he gets the ISO to get to the elbow, gives a subtle up fake to get the defender on that trampoline, and then calmly steps through and finishes at the rim. This was no rush, no panic, just straight control. And the answer to that is putting Edwards back in motion, running him off a screen so he catches the ball going downhill. And while most guys would probably think here to maybe look for a pass or stop short, Edwards goes right at Wemby, taking a contact which grants him 2 at the line, showing the Spurs that he's forcing the issue. A few trips later though, the Wolves go back to Edwards, who beats Harrison Barnes off the bounce to get inside, but he's unable to score over Kornet. Julius Randle crashes hard by muscling his way to get the offensive rebound, and if you look at Ant right here, he's spacing out to the 3 while Randle is surrounded, so once it's kicked to him, he can lock, load, and fire to push his total to 31 points. With the lead being 5 for San Antonio, they respond with solid defense by forcing Edwards into a tough baseline jumper that misses, and immediately look to run by firing the ball ahead to Keldon Johnson, who has a clear path for a fast break dunk, but he can't finish. And just like that, the missed opportunity flips everything, as Minnesota races back with Randle attacking Barnes downhill, powering through that contact and finishes the and one. Now the pressure, well, it's fully on. With the Spurs up 5, they clear aside for Johnson to attack Randle going baseline, but Randle holds his ground, Conley slides over to help, and now Johnson has no solid look at the rim, and he also can't make the kick out to the corner either. But this here is why moving without the ball is important, because this is when Dylan Harper sneaks behind Dante to receive the ball, but what's more important than movement is awareness. As Julius Randle releases off Johnson at the perfect time to get his hand in that cookie jar to strip Harper on the attempt, and now with defense turned into offense, Edwards is able to run out to get the easy slam going the other way. These possessions here would be all about Randle setting the tone defensively, as once again Johnson tries him off a screen, but Randle stays strong and forces another miss. And then when Stephon Castle splits the defense, charging straight down the middle, it might not be Julius Randle, but his energy flows into his whole team. So that's when you see Jaden McDaniels track Castle step by step and pin this shot off the glass. And hey, he even has some words for him afterwards. Suddenly, it's a 1-point game. San Antonio leads 101-100, and they know they need to be precise. So they go to Keldon Johnson in the pick and roll with Kornet, which pulls Randle out the paint, opening up the lane. Johnson now is able to turn the corner with ease to go finish, which gives the Spurs some breathing room. Now after some possessions pass, and Mike Conley is able to get a timeout after some sloppy play from the Spurs, Minnesota goes straight back to Edwards, lets him get in his bag versus Fox with the size up into a hezzy, and then he buries it home with no issue to tie the game at 103 apiece. This game truly kept on giving, and the Spurs would look for any advantage they had, such as Castle on Conley here, due to the size and speed advantage Castle has. With the Wolves knowing this, they collapse with help from Edwards and DiVincenzo, but Castle stays patient to then find Fox spotted up, and with Ant a little too deep in help to recover, Fox knocks down the 3, putting San Antonio right back up. The Wolves will quickly try to put points on the board by coming back the other way, but the Spurs will play perfectly by cutting off McDaniels when he drops to the lane, Castle closes out on Conley when he gets the kick out, and then when the ball is swung over to Randle, Johnson plays solid defense, staying attached to him the entire way on the drive, and then Kornet blocks the shot when Julius muscles off Keldon when going up. Momentum was now with the Spurs, and they once again go back to Castle with Conley on him, and this time you can see Jaden McDaniels right outside the paint, ready to help if Castle is to drop towards the rim. But here's where that vision and patience comes in handy, as Castle waits until Kornet gets in position behind McDaniels in the paint, and then he sends this nice pass down to Kornet in traffic right on the money for him to go score. With the Spurs up 5, the Wolves needed something to fall through the basket. And before we dive deep into this thriller ending of a game, we have to highlight that the Spurs have been an entertaining team to watch. And this makes you want to make trades on the San Antonio Spurs without feeling like things are rigged, sort of how those traditional sports books would do to you. So delete all of those and come join Polymarket. They're the largest prediction market where you can use the knowledge from my analysis to make trades at real time on any game and in any state. Polymarket makes it easy by displaying odds as percentages, and you just pick a team to win. You don't get locked out like other sports books will do due to you, which means you can cash out at any time during the game or get in on the action at any time. Like when the Spurs and Wolves were going at it, you could have locked in on a trade for the Spurs and rolled the momentum to the win. Here's how simple it is to make a trade, as I took the Spurs to beat the Wolves at 54% odds for a nice payout. If you were to win big on any other sportsbook site, they'll take away $9 in fees, but Polymarket only takes away 10 cents. So yeah, use my code MASTERY10 for $10 free when you sign up. No credit card, no deposit. Just use my code MASTERY10 and come join the revolution with Polymarket. Now to dive back into what looked like would be a wasted possession after the ball got poked into the backcourt, well, this actually turned into Anthony Edwards pushing right at Fox and pulling up right over him to knock down the three, forcing the timeout. After some Edwards free throws, which ties the game at 108, the Spurs now go to Wemby in the center of the floor, and man did Wemby almost have a highlight play with this spin off into the paint for the slam, but he missed the dunk, and the Wolves put the ball back in Edwards' hands to go at Johnson, and with some calmness to his game, and stops in the paint once he's cut off by Barnes, and then he fades back over the defense for a short bucket right in front of their free throw line for 48 points. With the Wolves now ahead, the Spurs go to what I told y'all is Wemby's sweet spot, which is in the middle of the floor. This time, instead of trying to navigate to the rim, he turns immediately when catching and fires over Randle to knock down the bucket from about 17 feet out to tie the game. But this here didn't shake the Wolves at all, as Ant came right up the floor using the high ball screen to get open, and although Wemby is right in front of him when coming off the screen, his hands are down and he's more so focused on Edwards driving the ball. So Ant rises up again for another tray ball to put the Wolves out in front and to give himself 51 points. This is truly ridiculous, and the Spurs wouldn't back down, as Wemby came to get the ball from Fox at the 3-point line and wasted no time sending it up, getting a 3-ball of his own. With San Antonio up 2 right now, the Wolves go to their hot-handed Anthony Edwards, who misses the 3 that travels out for a long rebound, and although Dante hustled to try and regain possession, it ends up falling in the Spurs' favor so they can start the fast break, and now they send it up the floor to Fox to get the run-out slam. At this point, Minnesota needs to score as the game is under 2 minutes and they're down 4. So they look to get the ball back to Edwards, who Fox is trying to deny. And when Edwards shakes free of Fox and drives to the paint, he gets cut off at the free throw line and is surrounded by 4 defenders. If you look in the corner, you can see Dante DiVincenzo wide open. So Edwards zips it over there and bada bing, it's money team. With the lead being now 2 points for the Spurs, the Wolves keep the ball going to Edwards, but he immediately turns into a double on this left side of the floor with Fox and Wemby. He's able to get it to Jones in the inside, which makes the defense collapse, and now the kick out in the corner to DiVincenzo is wide open in the same spot, and he drills it to put the Wolves ahead. Just when you thought Minnesota had the juice, the Spurs get a clean look going back the other way by using the high screen with Wemby to get Fox going downhill, and as you can see, if Randle is to help on the drive, this leaves Wemby wide open on the pop, and that pull up from the top of the free throw circle is pure money. This back and forth was crazy, and the Wolves will try and score inside, but Wemby is too much down low and sends the shot back. The Spurs then almost turn it over when Fox kicks it out when driving, but they keep the ball in play and find Keldon Johnson wide open on the 3-point line when Champagnie drove to the rack, and this right here was a dagger bucket. The Wolves wouldn't stop hunting, as Ant buried a nasty 3 over a heavy contest on the sideline, but ultimately the Spurs would come out on top during this grueling battle, spoiling Anthony Edwards' 55-point night and highlighting Wemby's 39 points. You tell me, how exciting is this San Antonio team? Let's talk about it in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you're first to know when I upload. I thank you all for your support, and I'll see you in the next video.